That's a great question, but it's not one that I ask. It's not one that I'm shooting for with my clients. I'm not shooting for equilibrium per se. What I'm shooting for is aliveness. What I've found in my own life as a result of doing all this work, as a result of all the healing and the journaling or counseling for some people, counseling didn't work for me. I had to find my own fucking way. It's aliveness. That experience of finally, for the first time in your life, finally fucking feeling alive. And I don't mean just dopamine rush all the time. It's not that. It's that you're operating from a place of your center. You're operating from a place of knowing your authentic self. And that means there are times when you're on fire, where you just feel alive and the dopamine's flowing. But there are also those times where you just feel calmer than you've ever felt in your life. And that calm is so sweet. But it's also that you finally, for the first time in your life, actually feel life. You feel it moment to moment, rather than, as it is for a lot of us guys, women too, where you don't allow yourself to feel anything until it builds up and builds up and builds up and you can't stop it anymore. Or it builds up so big that you finally feel justified in feeling your feelings. No, you feel it moment to moment. But you also know how to get back to your state of centeredness. You have your self-disciplines in place. You know what you need to do when you get knocked down or when you get knocked off center. And I'm sorry, being fully centered in yourself and operating from that state of aliveness and centered calm doesn't mean you're impervious to life's pain. And so many people think that's what it is. And so many men think, oh, that's what it is. It's like, oh, life doesn't fucking affect me anymore. That's not what it means to finally have done your shit. It's that we still get knocked down when our dog dies. We still get filled with bewildered, lost feeling when our closest friend from childhood passes away. If that shit ain't affecting you, you ain't alive. You're fucking caught up. So we allow life to come in and we experience and we feel it all. But we also know how to go back to that state of centeredness. We have our self-disciplines. We have our spiritual disciplines, our tools that we use. But while we simultaneously feel more of life, it's not as intense, it's not as big, because all of our shit from our past isn't being triggered as well. We've released all that stuff. So now what I'm feeling is the experience that's happening right now in front of me, not the 2,000 other experiences prior to that. So there's a greater sense of calmness. There's a greater sense of power, of clarity. You act not from up here, but from here. You can generate the power of this, but it's inspired action. It feels right to who I am. And that's a powerful fucking thing, let me tell you. So it's not equilibrium, it's aliveness. For the first time in your life, to truly feel centered, to truly feel yourself, to be able to be calm, to be able to adjust your speed.
This is for the old cats, folks over 50-ish, where your parents are still alive, but you also have children of your own. In other words, your children have grandparents. And here's the question: which is worse for you? For you, not for your kids. Which is worse when you see your parents change from the assholes that they were to you as a kid to now being good grandparents? And you're happy for that for your own kids, perhaps, but you find yourself thinking, why the fuck did you change now? Why the fuck weren't you like this 40 years ago, 50 years ago? Is that worse? Seeing that they fucking changed, and perhaps that no matter how good you see that they are with your own kids, you're still bitter. You still can't get close to your own parent because there's something still in you from when you were a fucking child. Wow, now you're seeing the power of the deep shit. So which is worse, that or seeing that your parent hasn't changed? That even with your own kids, even with their fucking grandkids, they're still selfish. It's still about them. And that they're siphoning energy, or they're from your grandkids or from your kids, or they're using your kids get their own needs met for pride or for affection or for attention. That they're using your kid and it bugs the fuck out of you. And perhaps even seeing that their own grandkids don't even like them. Wow. So is it the parent who did heal and you're pissed because that you didn't matter enough back then for them to heal for you? And you're still bitter? Or is it the parent who never healed And now as a grandparent is still the same selfish fuck that they always were. Which is worse for you? And there's no right or wrong answer. Which is worse for you? Where are you in this equation? Or perhaps you are that grandparent. Have a kick-ass day.
I had a guy reach out to me many years ago, let's say 7, 8, whatever, and he had heard me speak at an event out west, and he reached out to me and wanted some time with me. We worked together for a very brief time, but the main thing that he was wrestling with was what he called his grand affliction. He says, you know, Sven, it's just, I get bored easily, and so I'm constantly active in this and that and this and that, and yet I still feel that I haven't solved this struggle that I have with boredom. I said, dude, I got to be honest with you. You and I are in the same boat. He said, what do you mean? I said, my life affliction is boredom. It's simultaneously my curse and my blessing, because I know so much of my creativity comes from allowing myself to be bored. But I also know that when I'm bored, I get agitated. I get anxious. I want to do something. I want to create something. I want to make something happen. Why? Because I don't like how boredom feels. Boredom is one of those feelings for me that I run from almost more than anything in my life, that I have had to work through in my journaling and in my own self-work over the years. I don't like how it feels. I like the feeling of exhilaration, enthusiasm. I'm a fucking intense person, and I like that feeling, right? So boredom for me, it's like, fuck this, and I try to make shit happen. And he said, yeah, Sven, that's what I do. I'm taking this class, and I'm running these things, and my company this, blah, blah, blah. I said, invert the equation. He said, what does that mean? I said, when I get bored, rather than allowing myself to get agitated and go do something, which is fundamentally me suppressing the boredom, running from the boredom. In fact, what I do when I get bored now is I lay down. I literally lay down and I allow the boredom to come. See, the feelings that we don't allow, the feelings that are not allowed to be expressed, to come out, they get stored in our body. But when we allow the feeling to come out, then it comes out and it passes. So the question becomes, what are the feelings that you've been running from your whole life? Is it anger? Is it sadness? Is it fear? What is the thing that you don't like to feel, that is so uncomfortable, creates so much agitation or so discomfort, pain even? What is the feeling you don't like to feel most of all? And maybe there are many, but what's the whopper? That's the one you've been running from your whole life. And of course, the opposite of that fucking question then is, what is the feeling you are seeking in all of your life experiences? What is the one feeling you are seeking more than anything else? Not what do you want to have? Not what do you want to do with your career? Not who do you want to be around? What is the feeling that dominates? There are many feelings. I like feeling many feelings, but what's the one that dominates your life pursuits? That if I can't have that, dissatisfaction. What are you spending your life? What is the feeling that having that thing or being in that situation or getting those accolades or whatever, what is the feeling that you seek? That's what's driving your life. And what's driving your life is the running from the feeling you dislike most. So what is that feeling for you? For me, it's boredom. And I've had to accept in my life that boredom is part of life. Pain is part of life. Fear is part of life. That these are all of the experiences of being alive. And when we allow ourselves to sit in it and allow it to come out and even journal about it, or there are other methods that I talk about in my book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup, ways of just allowing it to come out, then it passes. So what feeling are you running from? What feeling are you running towards? And is it possible it's time to start allowing these and simultaneously letting go of them as they pass? Have a kick-ass Simple, fucked up question for you today, and it's just this. Who are you waiting for to die? Seriously. In your personal life, who are you waiting for to die, convinced that you can't be happy until they're dead? Convinced that you can't live your life your way until they're dead. You won't feel this giant burden off your shoulders until they're dead. Who is it and why? What is it that this person caused you to feel? What is the pain? What is the fear? What is the bullshit beliefs they taught you about yourself that are so pressing down on your soul that you believe you need them dead before all of that can be gone? And has it occurred to you you're wrong? You're wrong. The great poet Oscar Wilde said, no man is truly free until he can live as though his father is dead, or his mother, or her mother, father. You think you need the person dead when in fact what you need to do is go inside and get out all that pain, fear, and bullshit beliefs you were taught about yourself by that person, because you're wasting so much life waiting for them to die, waiting to finally live your life your way, and you're wrong. You don't have to wait. You can heal today. When you finally have the courage to go inside and heal the shit down deep. Have a kick-ass day. This is actually a really, really great question. But I'm not the best person to answer it. And let me tell you why. It's because I operate from a very different model of how I begin with clients. And I'm not a fan of the existing therapy model for most therapists and clergy and so forth, and people in the helping professions, because it sets up the very problem you're struggling with right now. How the fuck do you know in advance if someone is right for you? I mean, think about it. You got to go in there and spill your guts and share your life story, and you'll be 4, 6, 8 sessions in of just giving the background on your life. It takes that fucking long. And then you're like, oh shit, they really haven't offered anything. It's like you get 4, 6, 8, 10 sessions in before you realize this person doesn't help me at all. That's a massive amount of money as well as energy and time. And then you got to go do it with somebody else. That's why my model, how I deal with people, is I have them write a fucking autobiography before we ever even meet. And I invest an hour, 2, 3 hours of my own time studying that autobiography, up to 10 pages long, so that we hit the ground running when they come in and meet with me. And I don't charge them for the time that I spend studying that autobiography. That means I've already made a good faith investment of over $1,000 of my own fucking time and money. All right? And so there's a measure of trust. And we hit the ground running, and I attack. The problem's then going after it and getting results. But the problem is you don't have that benefit with someone else. And so it's like left with, well, how the fuck do I know if somebody's right for me? How do they know if they can help me? And my honest opinion is you go in and you feel it. You feel it. How does this person feel? And the truth is, if they make you feel comfortable, it's not the right person. You don't want to be fucking comfortable. My goal with my clients is never to make them comfortable. They know they can trust me, but not comfort. In fact, it's discomfort. It's like if you're hiring a doctor, do you want a doctor that makes you just feel good, or do you want one that gets results? See, I want one that gets results. That's what I want, positive results. And so what I recommend personally, and this is a personal issue. You're asking me personally. I want somebody who I walk in and they take control. I shouldn't have to ask questions. I should just go in and be who I am. And their questions pulling me out, asking more questions, trying to understand, go deeper into my problem. That's the indicator they're hungry. That's the indicator they're curious. I shouldn't have to do the fucking thing. I should sit back and feel. And is this person getting results? Is this person like challenging me to think in new ways? Is this person giving me new questions, taking me deeper? If at the end of it, even one session, yes, even one session, if I don't feel like, holy shit, okay, this is good, this person's pushing me. If you don't feel that, I don't care how fucking comfortable they make you feel. If they're not getting fucking you shifting, even in the very beginning, it ain't the person.
One thing that I've seen over 30 years of counseling business owners, military commanders, professional athletes, collegiate athletes, anybody who has a major dream, a major vision that they're pursuing, the one trait that I've most consistently seen that they all, or a very huge percentage of them, lack. Do you want to know what it is? It's the ability to turn off president of the company mode when they walk in the front door at night. Do you want to know why your kid doesn't trust you? Do you want to know why your kid doesn't want to be with you? Do you want to know why you're having struggles with your kid, or maybe the kid can't think for themselves, or maybe they're paranoid, locked up in fear, terrified of making a decision, or where they're so driven and so perfect because they so want your fucking approval and fear your criticism? You want to know why? Because you don't have the ability to shut off that voice inside that says, I'm the president, do what I say, I'm in control. You don't have the ability to go into father mode, to go into mother mode. You're forever in president of the company mode. And has it occurred to you that maybe that's not a good thing? Have a kick-ass day.